Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to A&S Motorcycles here in Sacramento, California. And welcome back to another Ducati review. This time we are on a 2019 Ducati 800cc Desert Sled Scrambler. Now, you guys usually see Bogna out on these scramblers, but today, because of the size, this one's gonna be all me. And this bike is defined by Randy as the off-road bike to have. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any off-road conditions. We're gonna have to keep it on the pavement today, so let's get geared up, let's take a look around the bike, and then let's get on the road and see how it performs on pavement, and later we're gonna see how it performs off pavement. What's up everyone? Alright, so as you guys know, typically in my videos, I'm always on my R9T. I love my R9Ts, you know, I love my racer. And Bogna is always on the scramblers because she can fit on the scramblers because they're pretty low. But today we got a flip-flop because the R9T comes in a low version. So look at her. She's flat-footing that. So if you guys are of the shorter size and you guys are looking for an R9T, this is the low option. So stay tuned for her video. But the Desert Sled, Randy has one over there, which I can't wait to get out on the dirt. He's invited me out on the dirt in his Desert Sled, but we're going to do the pavement on this one. So let's get on this big old tall bike. So I'm 6'2", so let's talk about heights. Let's talk about how we feel. 6'2", and I'm a good flat foot, so that's fine. And get this thing fired up. So first thing first, I want to tell you about the foot pegs, because just sitting on this, you can see the foot pegs are right at, you know, they've got to be forward. Just as I sit, where I sit, they're right poking in. So just as all right. So let's get on this 800cc Scrambler, the Desert Sled. So we're going to be more of an off-road. This is really going to be just Ducati's big off-road bike. This is the bike to be on. It's got cushy suspension. You know, we'll get into the modes and we'll get into the different things on the handlebars and whatnot, but the drivability, but the bars are nice and high, so that makes some maneuverability. Gosh dog it, I knew I was going to screw that one up. Maneuverability much easier, because you can turn it, so you're going to be able to get a lot of that low turning radius when you're on the dirt. So that's going to be very nice. So on the Ducatis, we do know that we've got our automated lights. So we've got our headlight, so we're on our headlight right now. So we've got our headlight button over here, which turns it either on or off or in automatic mode. And then I think on the Diavoli, the light kind of haloed, so that was kind of cool. So I'm not sure. I don't believe I've been on a scrambler, and I can't say I don't mind it. Feels actually pretty cool. It feels nice, it's comfortable. The seat is beautiful. The seat cushion, the kind of the groin area. I'm not up on the tank. I'm kind of setting back a little bit off the tank, about 3 inches off the tank. So it's a good comfortable feel. I can tuck my knees in. I can kind of get the good stand up. So very good feel. The all around of the bike is very good. With the bars where they are, the bars are at about elbow height. So they're a little bit higher than normal, but you're sitting completely upright. Trying to get this mirror is not cooperating with me quite as much. There we go. There we go. There we go. Up. So I think now I know why. Ah, there's a lockdown bolt. Got it. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing locked down. I may have to stop here and fix that up at the gas station. So I messed with that a little too much. So we'll pay attention to the mirror here in a second. So the ride, man, the suspension, this thing is cushy feeling. Wow. It is very, very nice. Sounds nice. Little 800cc twin. Let's see if I can get this thing fixed up real quick. Let's see. There we go. So there's a lockdown bolt that countersinks, that locks down the mirror. So yeah, the comfort of the cush is very nice. Clutch is a little long. It is a hydraulic clutch, and of course hydraulic ABS brakes. So ABS brakes is standard on this sled. No quick shifter. I wish it would have had a quick shifter, but you know, we're raising the cost every time we start to add stuff. So the instrument cluster, it's a little basic, nothing too incredibly major with the instrument cluster. So we've got our basic modes. We've got our fuel tank, and our fuel gauge is up top, and we have our, let me get through the visor real quick. Our total mileage is up top, and then we have our, obviously our miles per hour speedo, gear indicator, and our little clock down there. And then what's kind of cool is it's got the tachometer that goes from the right side about 3 o'clock position over to the 9 o'clock position, so you can kind of see that looping down there on the bottom. Acceleration's not 1,000%, but I will say it's got a little pickup, and that was in 4th gear. So let's try 3rd gear. So nothing record-breaking on acceleration, which I don't think you really need too much of that for the dirt. So when you're on the dirt in this thing, you're going to basically be, you know, you're not going to want that super high horsepower. So this is going to be definitely a manageable 800cc dirt bike, because typically when you start talking about, you know, 450s and these, you know, Honda 450s and stuff like that, it's you know, you're talking a lot of power and a lot of brake loose. So this is going to be a good feel for you on the dirt, and on the road you've got enough, nothing major, but you have enough. So oh yeah, so you can see in the back when we're in the light is got a little halo, so that's kind of cool. And then we've got our riding light. Now the riding light is a halogen bulb, but the halo is a LED. That would have been nice to put an LED headlight in here, but of course, again, let's add, and then we get into costs, right? So we got our high beams and our low beams, and then we have our flash. Now that's interesting. When we're on the halo light, no headlight on, and I flip the high beams on, the high beam turns on with the light, even though I'm not there. So that's kind of nice. So you can kind of flip your high beam on and off, and then of course you have your little pass button there. I'm curious to find out what Bogna thinks of that little R9T. She has not been on the racer because it is, I think she's afraid of the weight. You know, the thing is almost 480 pounds, so it's a heavy bike. But man, when that thing gets moving, man, it feels good. So be interested to see what she feels about that R19 racer. So stay tuned for that review. But it looks rad. I love that bike. She's still considering a Ducati, so we're kind of in a, we got some stuff to announce soon, so we're trying to figure out where we're going with life. So if you guys follow the channel, thank you for following the channel. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit it down below, because we've got some new Aprilia, Zero, Moto Guzzi, and MV Agusta videos, reviews coming. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and then ring that bell button, because that will notify you that we have new content. So back to this. Sorry for the plugs, but the Ducati bike, man, I'm enjoying this, man. It's a good little around the town bike. I don't feel like I'm on a dirt bike, so to speak. I mean, it's a dirt bike kind of feel, right? So it's not a dirt bike, but it's got the suspension, it's got the cushy suspension, and it's got the big knobby tires. So as far as, you know, definition of the dirt bike, it kind of meets all of the dirt bike requirements. Big high front fender, which is nice. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. So nice big front fender, rock guards. So Randy has this thing, it's rocking. She's got the rock. Randy has the Desert Sled, and he's invited me out in the dirt on it, so stay tuned for that video as well. But he has things like the knuckle busters, or the hand guards, and he has loaded that bike up with pretty much every accessory. So stay tuned, because I will be off-road with one of these Desert Sleds here in the near future. So if you guys are looking for some off-road content, we'll have it right here on Calimoto TV. But since we got to stay on road with the new bikes, so of course we got our blinkers over here, and then we've got our menu tab here, which gives us an up and down setting, so we can go through our tripometers, tripometer 1, tripometer 2, just over a half a tank, and we have 116 miles until empty. And we are at a beautiful 75 degrees, guys, here in California. So we're definitely in the full swing of fall here. So we're starting to get to our dirt bike riding season, so that's kind of cool. So these bikes will be, if you guys are looking for, you know, a kind of multi dirt bike, street bike, this will be available at the A&S Motorcycles shop. And Born Free right there on the 1968, real nice. So this will be available. So 75 degrees today, beautiful day, and then 13 total miles on this thing. Over here we've got our, you know, our on and our off. We do have hazard lights, which is nice. Not many bikes have hazard lights. I think they're starting to become a standard option, but if you're on a street bike or you're on the road, it's definitely a good thing to have these hazard lights. So not too many frills with this bike. It's not a big frilly bike. It definitely is a lower price point, but we've got some nice features like the ABS. I believe that the Scramblers do have an optional add-on quick shifter. I'm not sure if it's available, and I'm not sure if you necessarily want this on this bike, but I know that the Scramblers do have a optional quick shifter. Levers are nice, adjustable. I've never seen these kind of adjustable levers. They've kind of hidden back there, but the nice long levers. And of course they have the little breakaway. So what the breakaway, if you look here, you see the little notches cut out. The idea for the breakaway is if it does fall, it's supposed to break that tab and take the impact before it breaks the whole lever off of the perch. That's the idea of it. I've never really seen them break necessarily all the way off. Usually they bend up pretty good, which is going to cost you a new lever. But with today's aftermarket lever industry, there are tons and tons available. So you can take a look and see what aftermarket levers are available. So we're going to get out here on what we call our little freeway. Little Honda African Twin. Oh, look at that. Now that's a bike you don't see much. I wish we can get a hold of one, but we don't have any let's see, Japanese companies that will let us test ride the bike. So if you guys have a dealership, let us know. We'd love to be able to do Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha. We'd love to be able to do those. So out here on the freeway, 55 miles an hour, nice and smooth. Let's get upshifted into our cruising altitude. 6th gear. Suspension is cush, baby, cush. I feel it. It's got a little bump to it, but really it's like it's kind of like you're riding on a little bit of air. So the suspension is definitely soft. You're not going to be doing much of the backroad street rides on this kind of suspension, because you want that suspension, of course, stiffened up a little bit. But when you're out on the dirt, this suspension is going to save your little buttocks. So it's wonderful, wonderful. And again, comfort is, you know, the seat, I love it. It's nice. I'm a little bit back. I would say so far the only real complaint that I would have is the foot peg placement to the seat. Obviously they've, you know, where are they going to place them, right? But when I personally am sitting on the bike, my legs kind of hit right where the peg is. So I was kind of like at the stoplight, I was putting my feet back a little bit further, but you know, the rear suspension's got the nice cushy suspension, fully adjustable with the damper and rebound up in the front. So that's really nice. So they can get you dialed in for the dirt and then get you dialed in for the street. So very multi-purpose, which is important when you're looking at a bike that can do both, like what Randy does. Randy, I believe he commutes on that thing. So he's, you know, he goes back and forth on the street, and then he's at Prairie sitting riding that thing on the trails. And he said, I was talking to him at Oktoberfest last week, and he said he really enjoys this bike off-road more than anything. The off-road on this bike has really changed his perspective of riding on the street, which oftentimes it does when you get to a different style bike that just clicks with you. So if you're looking for like an adventure style bike, and some people, you know, that do a little bit of that dirt road or whatever, and then they get, you know, they go from, you know, something that's not really designed for that, and then they get onto something like the GS 1250 or the Tiger 1200, and it's just the light bulb goes off in their head, and they're like, man, I love this so much more than anything else in life. So this is kind of that. This is kind of what it did for Randy. You know, Randy kind of had that same feel, is he loved this on the road, but off the road it just changed how he loves to ride. So and then of course, you know, you got the track guys, you got street riders that go and they've been riding on the street for years and years and years, and then they go and they do one day on the track, and then they never ride on the street again. Not for me. I love my street, and I still love the street, but I do love the track. Cali Track Days has been a great experience, and you know, so stay tuned for some Cali Track Days stuff, because we've got some major announcements for Cali Track Days. So if you guys have come over from the Cali Track Days stuff, thank you. This is, by the way, a bike that I would not recommend to take out onto the track. This would be definitely an off-road track bike, so we'll get it into some dirt here soon. But man, what a joy. This has been a very nice bike to ride. And like I said, Bogna is usually on these scramblers, because she fits on most every scrambler except for this one. So it was my opportunity to get on a scrambler finally. And like I said, on the flip side, it really gave her the opportunity to finally ride an R9T, because of course, we own an R9T and she's never ridden it before. So not the greatest on acceleration, but very nice on the brakes. Very good on the brakes. Dual Brembos up front. So you got some stopping power. So there's a big advantage to your dirt riders. You know, a lot of the dedicated dirt bikes, my CRF 450 had, you know, single caliper, single disc in the front, single caliper. You get dual calipers, so I'm not sure. Does it help? I think on the dirt you use a little bit more rear brake than less than the front brake, so I think don't really think the front brake is used much. But I don't know. I had my dirt bike for a very short time. Dirt riding wasn't for me. It wasn't one of those things that I went off road and was like, man, this is something that I love. So it was definitely something that I will let other people do. So very nice. I'm digging it. And comfortable. Like I said, the only thing is that these foot pegs, man. Gosh darn it. I almost find perfect bikes sometimes, but every time it's, you know, I like to point out the little things because, you know, sometimes it's for me and sometimes it's not for me. Some things I love things, and sometimes this might just be something that just doesn't bother some people. So, but I appreciate you guys coming along with this ride on this beautiful 2019 Ducati Desert Sled. We're back here at A&S Motorcycles, and if you guys have any motorcycle needs, remember we have BMW, Ducati, and Triumph. So if you guys are interested in anything, let me know, or let Randy know. Randy can take care of you just about anywhere on any of these bikes. And of course, if you guys are interested in this Desert Sled, give Randy a call, because, you know, he owns this bike and he will tell you everything about this thing. Spoked wheels, look at this thing. Oh, and you know what? I misspoke. Look at that. It does only have a single, I of course looked on the one side. It does only have the single rotor. ABS though, but spoke wheels, so very, very nice. Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. Thank you guys, A&S. Thank you, Randy. Randy's right there. His Desert Sled's right there. But thank you guys. Stay tuned for more content. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button, and please smash that like button down below. And of course, leave me a comment. Is there anything here that you guys would like me to ride? Or if there's a Aprilia, MV Agusta, Moto Guzzi, and Zero, what do you want to see when we get over to Eurocycles? Let me know in the comments down below. But until next video, we'll see you then, guys. Bye-bye.